when I saw your story, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy has actually done what I believe many, many survivors of abuse would want to do. And you've gone through it and you're still here to tell the tale. And what I love as well about you, Jeremy, is what I'm seeing of you, what's coming from Facebook and coming from YouTube, is you are not stopping. We're going to talk about your story today, but you are not stopping, are you? You have got a mission in mind.
I just feel that it's just way too important for us to not try something out, to try to get it communicated, to try to expose what's going on, to try to communicate the realities of what's happening. I was a 21-year-old with everything going for me, and I was a usual lad, boy, man, growing into a young man. But everything then changed when I was 25. It was when I was 25 that the memories started coming back. I started realizing, accepting how horrendous what happened to me was. What happened started getting me down. And then I thought, well, I know what it is. I know why it's there. What am I going to do about it? I tried to ignore it. I thought that it would just go away. You know, we'd been good all these years. Why now? But that just didn't work. I sat with these memories for a couple of years. They just kept getting stronger and stronger. Then I spoke out for the first time to a close friend. Then I started wondering where my abuser was and what he was doing now. And that was what led me to begin searching for him. At the end of the day, I was thinking to myself, well, if I don't try to find him and make sure that he's not still doing this to more children, then who is? Mm-hmm. And I don't want it on my conscience if he is still doing it to more children and I knew I could have done something. That was the kind of thought pattern that was going through my head. So I started searching for him. I found him online. I messaged him. He blocked me. I reported him to the police and I couldn't prosecute due to a lack of evidence. But then once that had happened, I was so angry that he denied it that I thought that he should face me. And that is when I found out where he lived, I knocked on his door to confront him and he called the police on me.
Your perpetrator, the man that abused you, he in some ways has kind of put himself out there a little bit, hasn't he? I mean, by going through that act of turning on you, surely couldn't have done him any favors.
Nope. So it was very ironic.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like I felt in the driving seat from start to finish. I really did. It was very empowering. That night that the case got dropped, he must have been able to sleep soundly for the first night in a year. And then I turn up at his door and, you know, his wife's there and she's obviously been fed this alibi and she's like, we need to prosecute him and get him restricted from our area. You know, this is crazy. This is some madman turning up at our door. And he's probably like, well, we don't really want to prosecute him because, you know, he's talking about the truth. But obviously he's got to put some front on. When they were asking him questions like, you know, why didn't you just answer the door and just ask him what the hell he wanted? You know? It's impossible to answer that when you know what the real answer is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So he just completely crumbled. And after he crumbled, it gave me this incredible feeling of strength because I was like, when it's my turn, I'm gonna smash these questions out of the park. So you're right. I felt in the driving seat the whole time. So I'm very passionate in my work to not only start attacking the people that are doing this, but we need to have a little look at ourselves because some of the responsibility is with us. We're so quick to talk to children about stranger danger, say no to drugs, and all of these very necessary parts of educating a child. But one of the things that is happening more than kidnapping through talking to strangers and more than horrendous drug taking is abuse with children. But we're just not addressing that. If you do think there's going to be a risk of ruining your child's innocence by talking to them about private areas, then I wonder what the risk is if that child meets an adult that wants to touch them in the private area and that child knows nothing about boundaries on their body. Then the risk of ruining their innocence through being molested is astronomical. You know, you can be on Instagram from 13 upwards, right? I can message anybody I like, right? I should be being caught as soon as I press send. 5 seconds later, I should be caught. You know, that's the world we should be living in. And maybe we should be putting more pressure on these social media giants to dedicate a percentage of their humongous profits to this cause. As more and more survivors are speaking out now, as the internet and social media has given, you know, I have explained a little bit about the trouble in social media platforms with, you know, people being free to message whoever they want, but also it's brought an incredible opportunity for other survivors to speak what they want to speak. I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation unless it was for YouTube, and we wouldn't be able to promote this conversation unless it was for social media. So I think it's just allowed survivors to breathe and say what they want to say. And of course, we all know, as soon as you see somebody speak out about something that in a way that you feel strong, and the same thing happens to you, it encourages you. So this can only get bigger. And I think the more people that speak out, the more it's going to get noticed, and the more people will be like, oh my God, for example, 10,000 people spoke out last year. Like, this is actually a bit of a problem, you know? And if you think, if every adult that's been sexually abused as a minor spoke out, I mean, it would be undeniable, the scale of the problem, right?
Yeah.
I know we're not there yet, but, you know.